The boys universe has always been able to deal with some of the weirdest things of all time and some of the most deadliest things of all time. Let's be real here. When it comes to things like we have a whole team of superheroes, quoting it by the way, that just can do whatever they want because they're some of the strongest beings on their planet, especially with the likes of Homelander, Stormfront, Queen Maeve, A-Train, and all that. And then you have these regular humans that need to inject themselves with a drugged up super serum to give them superpowers in order to compete with it. But what if, right? What if we gave them something new? What if we gave them a kaiju? Now, I understand that we got to be careful with this one, you know? It can't be too overpowered and it can't be too overkill in a way. So I was thinking, like, yo, you know what? Originally, I was going to have Paleosaurus in Jurassic World. But in this one, I was thinking, like, you know what? What if I just didn't use Godzilla, Godzilla, Gamera, and you know, characters of that caliber? What if I just, decided to use the giant behemoth and threw him into the boys verse? Let's talk about it. So the giant behemoth is from the movie The Giant Behemoth, right? So what we have here is also known as the Paleosaurus, which again is a giant subaquatic, I guess you could say reptile here, that actually lived millions of years ago. However, due to radiation and pretty much experiments with the atomic bomb, it was reawakened and irradiated as well. However, we're going to do one thing. We're going to take away its weakness. Now, it had a weakness to where it was dying of radiation poisoning, but yet was still kicking pretty casually here. So we're going to take away the dying aspect of that and say that it's already just an irradiated monster and its body has adjusted to it over time. Now, this thing is obviously in the city levels of category because, again, it withstood an atomic bomb. Like, I don't know how to else put that here. And then again, you have the sheer fact that it was destroying multiple city blocks. Now, it does have other abilities like its electro pulse or electro radiation, where it allows it to actually secrete an electromagnetic pulse that it can use to stun other beings here. Now, why is this creature interesting to the boys verse here? And it's again, they never encountered something like this before. I mean, it's a kaiju. They don't have kaiju within their verse. They don't have anything similar to it at all. It's basically everybody in there is basically a worse version of Captain America if you really want to look at it. No. Think about it, right? Every character has to go through being injected with Compound V, and some of them even chosen as babies. So some of these characters are just born with Compound V in their system most of the time, or just injected as babies, which again is pretty messed up in my opinion. Like, you're doing this to children, so it's devastating. But again, this is why we do like the boys verse, because it is a bit more realistic in how the government and these kind of companies would create soups and stuff for their own personal gain. So it is what it is here. But what if the Paleosaurus was in the verse, right? Well, for starters, this would cause dramatic consequences here. Cities being destroyed, militaries being wiped out, and maybe even nuclear bombs being thrown here. Believe it or not, I actually think that Vought would actually try to be the head of this thing here and try to kill the creature in some way, shape, or form. They would try to absolutely just murk this creature, because this is a perfect opportunity to show that their soups can be in the military. And believe it or not, having beings like Lamplighter, Stan Edgar, Stan Edgar would be there kind of leading it and everything here. And believe it or not, I think with Stan, it would probably be a bit more controlled and organized. However, there is a problem. Radiation takes away the Compound V. It drains it out, or kind of just burns it out of their system here. And believe it or not, we also have to deal with Paleosaurus's radioactive aftermath. You see, Paleosaurus is kind of like Godzilla in a way where his radiation, or leaving, radiation in a certain area, does make it toxic. And he can also secrete this radioactive bile, I forgot to mention that earlier, where it can just annihilate anything. Like, it burns human skin, like, and starts melting it and stuff here. So imagine that, where he secretes this kind of bile all across the city. And then the sheer fact that Soups can't get close to him because, again, the compound V in their system will burn out. This even includes characters like Homelander and Stormfront. And believe it or not, here, I could probably see them bringing in other characters like Sister Sage to try and help organize it, even characters like Victoria Newman. And believe it or not, I can probably see it where it's like the Paleosaurus is like just randomly destroying facilities and stuff like that here. And I actually think it would be interesting where they try to like audition Soups and stuff here, and Firecracker just doesn't make it because she doesn't have any value. Because I mean, let's be real. If we add Firecracker to the team, what's honestly going to be the point here? She's not any form or any valuable member here. So it's just so what I actually think is going to happen here is that, well, Queen Maeve, Victoria Newman, and Stan Edgar are all going to try to coordinate a plan around this here. But the thing about it is, I don't think that Sister Sage here is actually going to be valuable. You see, you can predict human nature. You can predict how someone's going to act, someone's going to be. And yes, people can be unpredictable, but here's the thing. Animals and creatures are way more unpredictable than humans. And I think Sister Sage is going to learn that the hard way. And believe it or not, I think the verse would actually be cooked, in all honesty. Homelander can't get close here. Stormfront can't get close here. And believe it or not, the only one that might be able to do something would possibly be Soldier Boy. But again, it's a pretty long shot, in all honesty. I could even see Homelander possibly trying to belittle Sister Sage in a little bit here, or in a way here, because again, he can't. I feel like again, honestly, Homelander doesn't really respect a lot of people unless they stand up to him. But I think Sister Sage not only would tell him like it is here, but Homelander would honestly just belittle her. And, well, I think she would try to give him advice, and this would end up getting Homelander killed. You see, I do think in a way here, Sister Sage could either orchestrate Homelander's death here, and to make it look like he fought the creature himself of his own free will, and tried to make it a bit more, I guess you could say, patriotic in a way. Because imagine this American-born hero, this person who fights for truth, justice, and freedom, just being killed by the creature trying to save multiple lives. It would be a perfect propaganda opportunity for Vought, and I think a lot of the members would actually be for it here. So, believe it or not, Homelander would likely die pretty early if we actually allow them to manipulate him, and maybe I don't think Stormfront would be too much help in trying to like coerce him not to. But the thing about this is here, this would probably have some long-term consequences here. There would be very few humans on Earth because, again, of the radiation. People would likely have to adjust to the radiation, if not wear radioactive suits, and then find ways to clear themselves of radiation. Now, people will probably also have to hide underground as well. And believe it or not, this could probably give way to more consequences here, as we don't know what if a soup, is mixed in with radiation and compound V at the same time. What could this actually do, Basically what I'm trying to say here is, what if the radiation actually mutates the compound V rather than just killing it? What happens? What could it become? Could it become some type of virus later on? Something that's probably dangerous to humans? Do they create a virus that could possibly kill the Paleosaurus, but in the results, it could possibly kill everything on Earth? They would really have to play this by ear. Maybe they find some way to lure the Paleosaurus out to sea and then try and seal it in some underground cavern so that it may hopefully never return. But again, this still leaves drastic consequences in the end here. There's radiation poisoning. And believe it or not, I actually do see a lot of the characters dying. I probably see mainly the boys dying. Maybe a few characters surviving, maybe because they were able to escape it in time. Maybe moving to, I guess you could probably say, colder climates where the creature just hasn't gone just yet, or maybe moving somewhere where they just have a better chance of surviving. But unfortunately, it's very possible that Butcher, Becca, and Ryan do die. I do think Newman would probably die here, maybe, unless she makes it out to her cabin in the woods and just doesn't make Compound V super goats. But overall, here, the Paleosaurus entering the boys verse would cause way too much damage. And honestly, it would be more harm for anybody in the verse here. So in all honesty, yeah, that's honestly going to conclude it here. The best thing they could possibly do is try and nuke it. But again, this may add more problems to it here. And then again, if they create the virus, they're gonna have to take years worth of studying to do it. But that's gonna be all for today, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and be sure to stick around to the end to find out what the next video is. Peace.